All right. Welcome. I'm so glad you guys are here, and thank you for coming. My name is Bettilee Miller. I am a travel advisor with my own company, and I'm just here to tell you a little bit about my trip down to Antarctica that I did a couple of years ago that was just unbelievable. It's just, it's hard to describe. I'm going to do my best, but it's just a once-in-a-lifetime, very cool, unique opportunity to go down there and see that. So I've got a little slideshow here for you, and afterwards we can do a little Q&A. I also have a sign-up sheet here if you want to get some more information about Antarctica or any other thing. This sheet right here goes through several of the cruise ships that go down there, and it tells you a little bit about them and what they do, approximate cost-wise, and how many people. I will say Antarctica does not allow any ships over 500 people to go in, and most of these cruise ships only have 100, 200 people, which is really nice because it's very intimate, it's very small, it's just easy too. So anyway, and then I also have this information. If you want to follow me on Instagram, that would be great, like you guys follow them. So we'll just get started with the video right now. Antarctica. My name is Bettilee Miller, and I'm going to do my best to describe what an incredible experience it is to see Antarctica. What is interesting about Antarctica is this continent contains 90% of the world's ice and 70% of the world's fresh water. It is 5.4 million square miles and only has 2 seasons, summer with 24 hours of daylight and winter with 24 hours of darkness. There are no permanent residents on the continent, but 1,000 to 5,000 researchers visit seasonally. It is a continent with no countries, no capital, and no official language, and no other country controls it. Some fun facts about Antarctica is considered to be the coldest place on Earth with a recorded temperature of 128.6 degrees Fahrenheit, the driest place on Earth with parts considered as the largest desert in the world, getting no rainfall for millions of years, and the windiest place on Earth with winds reaching the speed of 199 miles per hour. Norwegian explorer Roald Amundsen was the first person to reach the South Pole in 1911, beating the British explorer Robert Falcon Scott by 34 days. The South Pole has been continuously occupied since 1956, when the Amundsen-Scott South Pole Station was established, making it one of the most remote, permanent human settlements. There are over 70 research stations in Antarctica operated by 29 countries, with approximately 1,200 researchers staying during the winter and up to 5,000 during the summer. We visited the site where Ernest Shackleton and his crew of the Endurance was crushed by ice in 1916 during the Imperial Trans-Antarctic Expedition, but the ship was finally discovered in remarkably good condition in March 2022 after 107 years underwater. This is the station where they stayed and set up after enduring the harsh winters. Transportation around Antarctica includes airplanes that land on dirt runways at one of the research stations, minivans, and Zodiacs that carry you back and forth to the ship and land, but are also used for exploring the area. While on board after a day of exploring, nightly lectures are given on the ship by expert naturalists, glaciologists, scientists, and wildlife speakers. Each night you learn about what you will be seeing the next day and the efforts that are taken to preserve the natural beauty and wildlife in the area. Layers, layers, layers. What to pack for Antarctica. Most expedition companies will provide you with a jacket that you can take home, and so you won't need to bring a heavy parka. They also provide waterproof boots that you'll need to use for wet landings. It is best to check with your expedition line to see what's available on the ship what you can rent or buy, and what you will need to pack and bring with you. Due to the unpredictable weather, it is advisable to bring lots of layers and different types of layers. Comfy clothes and shoes are a must for around the ship. Most people will dress casually on the Antarctica cruises and will bring clothes to be comfortable for days and evenings around the ship. It can get rough during the Drake Passage, and so you'll want to wear low or flat heels for those days at sea. Most passengers will start in Ushuaia, Argentina, or Puerto Arenas, Chile. It takes about 2 days to cross the Drake Passage if you decide to do cruising the Drake Passage in both directions. Another option might be to fly sail, where you fly in one direction and cruise in the opposite direction. Or you can choose to fly in both directions, which is what I did, and I'm glad I did. I now leave you with a few fun pictures from my trip, the obligatory vacation slideshow. And I start with my favorite one of my husband meeting his new friend. A lot of these pictures we took while we were on hiking. They let you off, they take you on the Zodiac, and you go up and you can hike and everything. They're very, very particular about where you hike, what you do. So they make you stay in a certain path. They dig a path for you and you have to stay in that path. And if a penguin or something crosses it, or something, they have to dig another path because you can't interfere with the penguins in their migration and whatever basically they want to do. So so a lot of these, are taken either from the Zodiac or when we were hiking. We actually, my husband and I, got to do kayaking one day. We got lucky. Thank you for listening and watching my video, and you're more than welcome to contact me for any more information on Antarctica and in all of the cruise lines that do explore the continent. I will now answer any questions that you may have and hopefully can help you enjoy this new, exciting adventure. Sorry, thank you. But the kayaking was really cool because if you saw one of the pictures there, we were in like the orange and the green suit, and that was like a heavy-duty wetsuit, which we then put like our coats and stuff on, and it just brought gloves and waterproof gloves and things like that. And it was just a lot of fun because we were kayaking and all the penguins were swimming around us, and a few seals came up, and one of the times, one of the pictures, there were some whales that actually came by, and one, you saw the fin there, it flipped up and everything. So the whales came by while we were kayaking and stuff. It was just, Antarctica is just so unique because it's so remote, it's so different from anything else that you'll ever do, and it's just fun because you're one of just very few people that actually go down there. And I think the time that we went, there was only a million people, or not a million, I'm sorry, thousands of people that have actually gone and traversed, Antarctica and seen it as a vacationer, on their own. It's just, I don't know how to describe it. It's just awe-inspiring. It's beautiful. Everything. The glaciers are huge. The penguins, I mean, they're right there. You saw my husband walking. He's just walking in the path. And the little penguin came and walked right beside him, and it's just so cool. And the seals, all the seals that are there, they go through and tell you all the different types of animals that are in the area that you're going to be going to explore, and what to expect and what to do. And I think we actually got in trouble. We got a little too close to one of the seals that was laying out and sunning and everything. So, but it was so fun, and I just highly, highly recommend it. If you have any interest in it, if you want to go down there, it's worth the effort. It really is worth the effort. So. Is there any questions I can answer? Or, yes, ma'am.
So the wildlife, it's penguins,
seals, birds, all kinds of birds. Whales are down there all the time, just all different kinds. And there's different breeds of each of kind, different penguins, different seals, different whales, and different birds. But they have their main ones, the Gentoo, the blue whale, and the bull seal. So are down there most of the time. Yes. Summertime, always sunny. Wintertime, always dark. So, and it goes from one extreme to the other. Just no in between, no gradual. So
what are the best months
Generally, the best months are late December, January, because that's when like all the babies are coming out. They've been mating and breeding and stuff, and the babies start coming out probably around the beginning of January. It's warmer. It was 20 degrees when I was there with the sun out. I actually, unzipped my jacket, took my gloves off. I mean, it was very comfortable. So you can have some great weather too. Usually they have people start. We went the end of November to the beginning of December, and I think their season really is November through about March. So you can go pretty much into that time and have a good time. So, and then obviously the Drake Passage. Everybody asks about that. It can be rough. And it can be very smooth. It's just, weather dependent, and, we can't control the weather. So, but it's, a lot of people do it. They make it through. It does take 2 days to cross. So it's 2 days to get down to King George Island, which is pretty much where everybody starts and goes around there. And you're mostly cruising around just the little islands that are close to South America. That way, because the main body of Antarctica is so huge that you would never be able to get around it and all that. So they kind of stick to all that area because it is a little bit warmer water too for the animals and everything. So, but the Drake Passage, you either want to do it or you don't. Some people say you have to do it to earn your right to go see Antarctica, and then there's me who says, nope, I'm going to fly over and fly back. So. No, they have charter planes. Yes, all the airlines have their own charter planes to get down there. The one that we went on was Silver Sea, and they just recently built their own hotel down in Puerto Arenas area because they fly out of Chile. And they just recently built their own hotel, so you fly down into Santiago, then fly down there, and then go to their hotel and just get on the charter plane from there and head over. So, and it was a very cool airport in Antarctica too, because it's just dirt. I mean, it's just black dirt there, and you just go and you can watch the pebbles all fly up as you land and everything, and you just do it. And then there's research stations there, and there's a few people there all the time, year round, and that's just it. And then you walk down to the water, they give you your gear, you jump on the Zodiac, and you go out to your ship. So, it's very adventurous. You need to be adventurous, and you need to be kind of mobile to do it. Although there was a couple of people on our ship that I didn't think could do it, and they did just fine. So it was great. So anything else?
So when you kayaking, how close does animals get to you? Like,
when I was kayaking?
Yeah,
Oh, right here. Yeah, I mean I could practically reach out and touch the penguins. Yeah, it was very cool, and the way they swim. The waves? Whales. No, they didn't come quite as close, but it was still close enough to make you maybe a little nervous. But yeah, it's like you can stay over there. But no, it was very cool. Yeah, so they came in, but they were probably back there in that area, so it wasn't terrible. But you never know. But they were great. I think they're used to people down there now. Because there's a lot of ships that go down there, a lot of people that want to go to Antarctica. So.
I'm sure a lot of scientists will not happy to hear that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I will say they are great. They totally protect the area. It is a very protected country, very protected land. Nobody is allowed to do anything military there, anything to do that would hurt the environment, anything. Like I said, we had to stay in the little path that they carved for us to hike up all the mountains or all the hills and stuff that we did, and not get out of that. And they did get on you if you did get out of place or anything. So, because they definitely want to protect it. And every person that gave the nightly talk was all about, protecting the environment and sustainability and all that. And all the ships that sail down there and go in and out of all the ports, they are very sustainable ships. They build them to be, very environmentally conscious and sustainable, and just because they just don't want to mess it up. It's such a pristine, beautiful, untouched area that you just don't want it messed up. So, yes, ma'am.
Well, is it quiet there? Like there's stillness, or is there still kind of animals?
That's The penguins make a lot of noise, and they huddle up in large groups and everything. But yes, it is. And you know, if a glacier's calving or something, you can hear that. But you know, when you're going around, one of the things we did in Zodiac, we went through this whole ice field area that we just kind of went around with glaciers all over the place, and that was very quiet and really pretty because of the differentiations in the white glaciers, and it was like blue or closer to the water, and then the water was a different blue, you know, close to the glacier, and the blue are out here. So it was just really pretty and very quiet and serene and everything. And this particular ship that we were on is an icebreaker ship, an old icebreaker ship that they made into a cruise ship. And we came across an ice field, and captain just ran right through it, and we got to watch him break the ice and, you know, carve a path, and that was really cool too. We stood out on the deck and just watched, you know, all this go through, and it just carved it all out, and we went on our way. So there's just unique things like that in Antarctica that you don't really do on any other cruise ship, obviously. So
you flew down,
Mhm.
and you spent the time while you were there on the ship,
yes,
and then you flew back.
yes.
How long were you kind of there in the area?
We did the cruise was 5 days. So we were on the boat for 5 days and 5 nights. So then getting to Santiago and then down to Puerto Arenas took about 2 days, and then about 2 days home. So I would plan about 10 days to 14 days. So.
And once you're down there, the cost to get from South America there, what is the cost of that trip roughly?
Well, usually most of the cruise lines, it's all included. So you get yourself to Santiago, and then they take you from there, and then get you back to Santiago. Well, for us in Puerto Arenas or Ushuaia, same thing. They get you, you know, back and forth once you're in their port to go out. So, yeah, that's usually all included. So.
Rough order of magnitude on the cost?
Well, it depends. I've got a sheet up here. It gives you, you know, costs of different ones. So you can go, you know, high-end, luxury, and it's going to be, you know, $17,000 a person kind of thing. I just had a friend who did Lindblad, which is done through National Geographic, which it was still around 11,000, but it was still, she said it was very nice, very comfortable accommodations, food was good, everything. They take care of you on the ships, you know, for sure, because that's your home for 5 days. So they do a good job of taking care of you. So it's really just, you know, it's kind of personal how you want, you know, high end, a middle, or just, you know, the basics. Get me down there, enjoy it, and get it back. And which I would highly recommend the National Geographic one. She loved it. So
what is the difference? Like, what do they add? Like, National Geographic sounds like, okay, well, like scientific should be,
yeah,
you know, much more engaging.
they're probably more active, I guess. I mean, more, you know, more options to get out on kayaks or, you know, do a lot more hiking and stuff. The higher end ones are more about service, and so you'll have, you know, more Ritz-Carlton type service, you know, on those versus, and I'm not going to say it's serve yourself, but it is, you know, here it is, come help yourself kind of thing on Lindblad, which, you know, perfectly fine, which I like too. You know, sometimes you just don't want to be waited on, but if you do, I mean, there's plenty of options to do either way. So.
Talk a little bit about some of the similarities and differences between Antarctica and maybe Alaska or maybe Norway, northern Norway?
Mm-hmm. Alaska and Norway are going to be more populated, obviously. More, you know, towns and, you know, hotels, restaurants, you know, that kind of thing along the way. Antarctica, I mean, it's nothing. It's remote. There is nothing. You know, you're not going to go to a gift shop and bring something home. So, you know, so yeah, it's more remote. It's more, like I said, it's pristine and clean and quiet and nice and just unusual because like you said, Alaska, Norway, all that has little towns along the way that you can stop in and go to a restaurant or, go out or go to a store and go shopping and thing. And there is nothing, not a thing.
And so it really is an outdoors.
Very outdoors, adventurous experience kind of thing. Having said that, though, there was a couple on our ship that never once got off the boat. They just stayed on the boat, sat on the deck, looked at all the sights. They were happy. So, to each his own. So it's not like you have to do everything, but, it's one of the reasons you're down there is to be adventurous and see the penguins and, go up and be close to them. So, yeah.
Did you spend the day on an excursion or you leave the ship?
Mm-hmm.
Are you returning to the ship midday or are you there? Are you on?
They go back and
adventure?
forth. Yeah, well, I can tell you the one that we did, they had set, times went out because then they would bring you back and maybe go down to another section where they'd get you out and go again. And each time, it's on the Zodiac. So you're having to, get on and off a Zodiac. But, we did that, 2 times a day at the most, and sometimes just one. And we spent the day out there just hiking and exploring and stuff.
Does everyone from the ship go on the same adventure each day? Or
Mm-hmm. Yes. Because
They're like time slots, kind of.
they stagger you because they have enough Zodiacs that go back and forth. They just go back and forth. And so they did it by colors on our ship where, the blue group went at a certain time, the green group went, the red group went, that kind of thing. And so it didn't throw, the whole boatload of people. But again, it only held 250 and there was 180 of us on the ship. So it's not, a huge amount that they had to get over. But yeah, they do stagger you like that. Our particular ship, they gave us those red parkas that you saw. They gave us, the wellies, they call them wellies. Those boots are thick. They gave them to you to put on, and they also gave us pants. So we had the whole thing, and all I had to do was put on what I was going to wear underneath and my gloves and my hat. Put all that gear on. They also had lockers for you so you could leave your wet stuff, the wellies, the shoes, and anything that's wet in the locker and just go back down the next day. And they had heaters so you could put your boot on the heater and it'd be dry for you the next morning. So it was very nice. So they do take care of you and they don't want you to get frostbite. They don't want you to be cold. They want you to enjoy it. So at the same time.
Once you're out of the boat exploring, how do you do like with food and water? You have to bring your own stuff?
Yeah, you just bring a water bottle with you. Yeah, that's it. It's not like you're going way out. They have
for hours.
Not for hours. No, you go out. You drop you off on the boat. You can go out and you can stay as long as you want, or you can turn around and go right back to the boat. So it was. We took a bottle of water with us, but it also kind of froze too, because it was a little cold. But other than that, you just go out, you have fun, you explore. We went to the beach where Shackleton, set up. They had a whole airplane hangar there from when they would come back and forth. And then there was a little mountain that we hiked up to the top so that we could see over. And talking about windy, I was walking up it, and it literally almost got blown over because that wind just went, came flying out of nowhere and knocked me over. Wow. And so it is very windy, and it's a strong wind too. But we made it up to the top, took our pictures, came back down, walked around the beach, saw the seals laying there sunning themselves, got yelled at because we got too close. So, it happens, but.
What's the sky like?
Blue.
Just so blue and beautiful, like in at night with the stars,
Mm-hmm.
just crazy.
Yes,
That's
crazy.
awesome.
Tons of stars. If it's clear, it's tons of stars. Beautiful blue during the day.
Love that.
Few clouds, occasionally. But if it's a clear day, it's gorgeous.
Wow.
It is gorgeous.
You said it's dry, so it feels arid, like
Mhm.
steam, like
Yeah.
Utah versus.
Yes, it is. It's there's no humidity down there. It's crazy. It's a very dry feeling, dry, cold feeling. So,
Thank you
yeah.
for sharing all that.
Oh,
That's awesome.
absolutely. Absolutely. You guys have any other questions? Yes.
I have an acquaintance who actually works as a tour guide on one of those boats over
Oh,
there.
fun.
So, we don't stay in touch I don't know, Facebook.
All right.
So that's why kind of like I see her pictures when she's there. So she goes there, I think, at the beginning of November. I remember when we were like communicating like this in the real world, that she mentioned that you actually have to take breaks from like working there because of, I think there's not enough like normal oxygen or something like that. So
Yeah.
I'm not a scientist, but I remember her saying that. So I'm like interested. So
Yeah.
like
I could see
breathing
that.
there feels different, or
A little bit. It's. I didn't really notice, anything. Maybe when I got to the top of the mountains that we were hiking and stuff, you get winded because it is a lot of work to trudge through snow and stuff to get up a mountain. But maybe it's like that feeling that you get with like Denver with that pressure, the altitude and stuff like that. But I didn't really have an issue, but I don't work down there all the time, so maybe being in that environment all the time, you do need breaks. So, but just visiting and going and seeing, I didn't feel any issues. So, sure, that's pretty interesting, though. Yeah.
she posts like a lot of pictures. Like, I think she also like paints penguins.
Oh,
So I guess, like,
fun.
selling them as extra souvenirs or something. So
Yeah. Oh, that's very cool. Very cool. All right. Yes.
The wildlife, you said, are there polar bears or is that just
No, that's in the Arctic.
Okay.
That's Arctic. That's north.
That's
They're up there with Santa.
penguins and but
It's
no
mostly-
animals, probably?
Not really, no. Just the penguins, the few whales that are out there, the seals, birds, but there's a lot of different species in each one. So, varieties, yeah. So,
are there people with professional cameras? Are they allowed there?
yeah, you can take your camera. I just use my iPhone because, when you're going back and forth on the Zodiac, you don't want to take a chance, and especially when I was kayaking, too. You're right there on the water, so. And they're like, don't put your hand in the water. They're like, of course you want to go like that as soon as they say don't.
One of the slides, there's like people jumping.
That was the polar plunge. Yep.
Why?
That's kind of what I said. Those were some of my friends that did it, and a lot of people do it. Just say that they've been in the Antarctic water. Yeah. And they said it was extremely cold. It was like jar you awake kind of cold.
Jumping them up.
Just jump in, and then they tied a little harness around you. And then you just jumped in so they can pull you out, really quick. So, yeah. But so yeah, they did the polar plunge.
They sure did.
They sure did, yeah. And I was like, more power to you. I'm going to stay dry on land here.
I guess.
Yeah. So, anything else? Nope. Awesome. Well,
I know what I would ask is children, like if grandparents wanted to take grandchildren, yes or no?
yes. There were a few kids on ours. I wouldn't take, I'd take maybe middle school and up. Yeah, or even maybe 5th grade, I don't know. But it's strenuous. I don't want to push you off, but it does work. You have to do work, and you can't be complaining about being tired and all that. So, so it's mostly, there's not a lot of children, but people have brought their kids and stuff, and they've been perfectly fine. So you just have to know your kid.
Did you have like internet on the boat or communication, internet connection?
Yes,
On the boat?
yes, there is Wi-Fi on the boats. Yes, so, but you're so excited to see Antarctica, you don't really use it, except for at night maybe, and just, I put all my pictures in and send it out to everybody, so, yeah. So,
Very cool.
yes, it is. Thank you guys very much for coming. I appreciate it. So if you need any more information or if you want anything else from me, feel free to come up here. This little chart, like I said, tells you the different ships and, how many passengers, what to expect on an approximate price. So feel free, welcome. Thank you.